Hi, I'm Angelika. I'm 21 and I'm from the Bahamas. I came to Canterbury in September 2014 to study the history and philosophy of art. My first impression of the campus was that it was very big. It was sort of overwhelming, but there was someone at every corner who I would say, which way is my dorm? Which way is the School of Arts? So I went to all of the introductory lectures, the basic School of Arts lecture, the separate intro to the history of art, and the intro to aesthetics and the philosophy of art. They were all equally as helpful. Overview of what was expected of us, where we can go for help, who we can talk to.
I'm Michael Newell. I'm Head of History of Art at the University of Kent. In their first term here, students usually study an introduction to the history of art and an introduction to philosophy of art and aesthetics. The introduction to history of art gives students an introduction to European art from the Middle Ages and right through to the modern period. Introduction to philosophy of art and aesthetics takes a different tack. It looks not at individual artists and artworks and movements, but asks general questions about the art.
So in philosophy of art, I entered the class not really knowing too much about philosophy. We went chronologically and we started with Plato, moved on to Aristotle, and then we moved halfway through the term we went on to the contemporary philosophers of art. That's definitely what I was looking for in the philosophy of art class, explaining the shift to contemporary art and why art has replaced beauty with theory and things that I was never able to articulate myself. So I had the same lecturer, Paloma, and she's amazing. Her enthusiasm was contagious. I think all of us left philosophy of art really enjoying it. History of art, we had a different lecture every week, and at first it was a little overwhelming, but then it just kept it interesting. You had a new voice. Each lecturer is enthusiastic about their own field, so we had someone who came in and jumped around and was happy about medieval art, and then we took it all the way to contemporary art and took field trips with the specific lecturers that were enthusiastic about this specific exhibition that was on. We were provided with these mandatory once-a-week sessions, and we met with a librarian, with someone from the Student Language Services, and basically they talked us through referencing styles, the fact that we have access to all these online journals. So because of those sessions that we had, writing my first essay was a lot easier than I thought it would be. So for each module we had 2 essays, a first shorter one, and said I got my essay back within 3 weeks. The feedback was extremely in-depth, literally line by line there was feedback. And then there was general feedback, you get your number grade, and then we arranged for one-on-one meetings that were also extremely helpful. Any question that popped up as I was going through, or questions on how I can improve for the next time were answered. And if you need a follow-up feedback meeting, you're welcome to do that too. They're so open to you coming to their office. For each module, you have 2 essays, and usually with the second essay, you'll get a list of questions. Because it's at the end of term, you're able to decide a lot better which question would be your strong point.
In their second term, they go on to study perspectives on the history of photography and a module on contemporary art.
So this semester, I'm taking a class on contemporary art called The Shock of the Now, Themes in Contemporary Art. And what we do is we not only follow the art history, but we follow the wider cultural history and sort of examine the patterns and how the wider culture affected art and the patterns within art. The seminars are really interactive. It's half of our lecture class, so it's pretty intimate, and we all sit in sort of a circle. And our seminar leader, Margaret Schmitz, is really good at engaging with us. She'll give us cues and questions spark, and we get off topic and get back on topic. The other module I'm doing is called Thinking About Photographies and Its Histories. And the title pretty much gives it away. We're starting with the earliest cameras and the earliest photographs. and going straight through, and we'll move on to digital and analyzing the photograph. And in the last week we get to do darkroom practice, so I'm looking forward to that. The biggest challenge right now is time management, because we have so much reading to do for this course. Heavy philosophical text and historical text. The first 2 essays for the semester are due next week, and that's why we had our trip week last week, so that we can see the works that we'll be discussing in the flesh. What I've done is looked at a piece of Lucian Freud's work on our trip to London, and I'll be comparing it to a Rembrandt painting, so comparing the 2 female nudes, traditional versus contemporary. So, to sum it all up, I think my writing skills have improved beyond what I thought they could. I've learned to articulate my thoughts in a lot clearer fashion and pose my argument straightforward versus too many words or not enough words. And that's definitely due to the one-on-one sessions with the lecturers. You gain a new respect for the things that you don't think you like. And the reason you don't like them is because you don't really know much about them. So if you come into the course with an open mind and ready to soak things up, you'll end up enjoying every single second of it.